On November 24, 1971, a man in a suit and tie boarded a commercial flight under the name of Dan Cooper. He ordered a bourbon and soda, and then handed a note to a flight attendant that read, "I have a bomb." He demanded $200,000, 4 parachutes, and a plane fueled and ready to fly. He got all of it. Then, somewhere over the wilderness of the Pacific Northwest, in the middle of a storm, he opened the rear stairs of the Boeing 727 in flight and jumped into the night, into a thunderstorm, and vanished completely. To this day, nobody knows who he was. Nobody knows if he survived. And nobody has ever been arrested. This is the only unsolved plane hijacking in American history. Here's how it actually went down. The flight took off from Portland, headed to Seattle. Cooper calmly explained he had a bomb in his briefcase, showed a flight attendant what looked like wires and cylinders, and passed a note demanding the money and parachutes be ready when they landed in Seattle. Authorities complied immediately. They released all 36 passengers in exchange for the ransom, keeping only the flight crew aboard. Then Cooper ordered the plane back into the air, told the crew to fly low and slow toward Mexico, and instructed them to stay in the cockpit no matter what. Somewhere over the dense forest near the Washington-Oregon border, he lowered the plane's rear staircase, something only that model of aircraft even allowed, strapped on a parachute, and jumped out into a raging storm, carrying the money strapped to his body. He was never seen again. The FBI launched what became one of the largest manhunts in their history, codenamed Norjack. Hundreds of suspects were investigated over decades. None were ever confirmed. No parachute was ever found, and no body was ever found. Then, in 1980, 9 years later, a young boy digging along the banks of the Columbia River found something buried in the sand. 3 decaying bundles of cash, still held together with rubber bands. FBI confirmed the serial numbers matched Cooper's ransom money exactly. Just under $6,000 of it. The other $194,000 has never surfaced. Nobody knows how the money got there. Nobody knows if Cooper survived the jump and buried it himself, or if he died in the storm and the current carried the money downstream over the following years. In 2016, after 45 years, the FBI officially closed the case. Still unsolved. Here's why this story has stayed alive in the public imagination longer than almost any other unsolved case in American history. It's not really about the money. It's about the idea that in a world of surveillance cameras, fingerprints, and paper trails, one ordinary-looking man in a suit simply stepped out of a plane and out of existence entirely. No system caught him. No trail led anywhere. That's a fantasy a lot of people quietly hold on to. The idea that you could just disappear, start over, vanish from every record, every expectation, every trace of the life you were living, and no one would ever find you. D.B. Cooper may have died in that jump. Statistically, it's the most likely outcome. An unplanned nighttime jump into a storm, into unfamiliar mountain terrain, with no experience as a skydiver. But the case has never been definitively closed, with a body, an arrest, or an answer. And as long as that's true, he remains the one person who may have actually pulled it off. If you found this fascinating, hit subscribe, because next week we're covering another interesting piece of history that'll make you question everything you thought you knew.